Welcome to Feelings Not Included. It's a podcast where we keep it 100% real about 100% real shit. Today, you know what I'm saying? We got Curtis joining us. Curtis is Crystal's husband. So I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself, bro.
Very simple. My name's Curtis. I'm Crystal's husband. Hey, as easy as that.
Hey, respect.
Yeah.
So, we brought Crystal on earlier last week, whatever, and she kind of told her story and talked about, kind of what's going on with y'all. But we got one view, one perspective, and we wanted to really get you on, hear your side of the story. Kind of, start as early as you want to start. She started the story with, hey, she met you, and I think she was, I don't know what age she was, and she said 19, something like that. She
Yeah.
already had two kids, so you feel free to start as early as you want, bro. But I just wanted to kind of give you a little background because I know you haven't seen that episode yet.
Um, Basically, first and foremost, before we start, I want to make sure everybody out there know uh, that when I'm doing this, this is not a Crystal Bash session.
Right,
There's
right,
no way on earth I'm going to do that. Number one, she's still my wife. I still have care for her, and we wouldn't be in this situation if there wasn't a care for her the way that I have for her. So for anybody who's paying attention to this, I want everybody to listen to understand, not listen to argue. You get what I'm saying?
no doubt,
Um,
no doubt.
because it's so many layers to this stuff that you can't really fully get an understanding by just sitting here and just listening for an hour of me talking. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Uh,
absolutely.
but for the most part, yeah, I met Crystal when I think she had just turned 20. Uh, she had her first kid at 15, and when I met her, she had a little 5-month-old little girl, um, and we pretty much fell in love. I'm not talking about Crystal and I. I'm talking about me and the baby.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
so that was like my best friend. I had her everywhere. Again, I met Crystal in April. By May, I had her by myself in Tampa, which is almost 4 hours away.
Right,
You know what
right,
I'm saying? So this is my partner. I
right.
fell in love with her far before I fell in love with Crystal. Um, but because of all this, certain things happened where things weren't going right on her end, and it basically went from me hanging out with her daughter to me accepting responsibility for Crystal and the baby.
She did
And
say
then from
you
there,
kind of raised her, bro. She did give you credit for
yeah,
that. She said you
and
kind
and
of
and
raised her.
that's where all this is coming to. Well,
Right,
it went from me with the baby, me and Crystal, me getting to know Crystal and talk to her and the type of person that I am. I was like, hey, get your son. Let's work hard to get him back. Boom. Months later, he was down here. And so before you knew it, it was a single dude, single female,
right, right.
and a young female on top of that. And we just became together as a family. There was not much dating. There was nothing at all that was there for us to really, get to experience and get to know each other.
So when you
Um,
when you met her, you say you fell in love with the little one first, right?
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so when were you and Crystal dating at that time, or y'all were just
Well,
friends
like I
before
said,
she?
we were more friends, but because of the situation, I ended up having her move with me,
Right.
and we were together. Like I say, there was absolutely we missed a big part of everything, and then years later we had a child, and it just went on from there. Years later we got married, so we missed out on some stuff. There's a lot that a lot of people miss out on because of Crystal and don't know the story that I know. I know how she got to where she is. Um, and like I say, I basically raised her to a point where I put up with so much shit from her to when we separated, it was basically like me going from raising her to saying, I'm setting you free. Uh, in the words of my boy DMX, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it's yours. If it's not, never was. Um, I basically told her to go,
Right.
because I knew that if she stayed with me, she would continue to do the same thing. She never had her own identity outside of what I raised her to be or my influence. You get
Was
what I'm
that
saying?
was that a bad identity? Like why
Um,
put her out to?
on my end, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay,
But
okay.
because of her and never getting to experience so much stuff, to her, she didn't know herself. She never really had a childhood because she was a mother.
Right,
Um,
right. She did say she
I
had a baby
basically
at
spent more
15.
time. yeah, I spent more time with her than her own family did. You get what I'm saying? Again,
Right.
I pretty much raised her, so to speak. So I basically had to just say, let her go. So when she says that she left, it was because of my strength that I said, you could go. Matter of fact, it was on my birthday. It was my strength that said, you could go
On
and
your
go do your
birthday?
own thing. Yeah, it was on my birthday. I told her that, we were in the bed sitting down watching TV, and, we had a discussion about some of the things that she had done. And I was basically like, I can't get past some of that stuff because of the lies and continue to doing that. And so
Do
I
you
also knew that this was something that she probably wanted to do and didn't have the courage to do it herself.
so
And
you
again,
doing
that
it
was my
looking out
strength.
for her?
I was looking out for her. My strength said, I've raised you. I got to set you free. I got to let you find yourself. And I had to let her go. So when it comes to a part where our purpose of separating and everything, it was more to release, because if we stayed together, we was gonna hate each other. The marriage was gonna be everything. At least we had an opportunity to find something.
Right,
And
right.
she needed to know who she was without me. You get what I'm saying? Um,
I do, but as a husband, I'm still, it's that's I like you
this
said
this
she's done
that's
some
the
things
hard
that
part.
were unforgivable.
That's yeah.
Do you mind? She said a lot, but I'm not going.
Oh yeah,
I'll leave you to say what you say. But do you
yeah.
mind explaining some of the things she did that were unforgivable? Again, everybody's
Uh
different, right? And don't go too
yeah,
deep.
most
Don't want to.
definitely. I mean, like I say, she cheated and different things like that. But so much of the stuff that happened, like I tell everybody in my house, nothing happens in this house if I don't allow it.
I can
I
go with
knew
that.
certain things. I knew certain things were happening, but when the first time that everything happened, it was such a shock. And I made a promise to my kids, and I said, uh, hey y'all, I'm gonna give it everything I got, uh, to a point where if something continues to go foul and this does not go the way that it goes, it's not gonna be on me. I'm gonna give it my all.
Right.
Because my
You do
dad
what you
taught
need to
me,
do.
yeah, my dad always told me, and he can't read, write, anything, like, but he has sense and he's a good ass dude. And he always said that, like, with my mom, she may have a dude with more money or whatever else and all this stuff, but she will never have, nobody would ever be a better man than him. And so I always took that to heart. So in this
Right.
situation, uh, I was like a placeholder, and I took on so much of the responsibility of the kids and everything like that while she was going through her bullshit, whether it was drugs, whether it was, cheating and stuff like that. But because of that commitment that I made to the kids, um, I had to see it through.
Man,
And we've made
that's
it
respect.
to this point,
It's
you
hard.
know.
Right.
Yeah, it is absolutely hard. And a
I
lot of people are going to probably ridicule me for staying through even
listen.
my family. Yeah.
Everybody is different, bro. Because I can tell you personally, I couldn't do it, but I respect what you're doing, right?
Hmm.
I don't have that much man in me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To be able to understand it, and I wanted to, I wanted to have this discussion with you, like husband to husband, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's got to be a point where you say, okay, she's learning or experiencing the world for herself, but how long are you willing to sit, right? Because you're gonna give it your all, but you got to put a
Yeah.
time limit on, right? I
Oh, I
mean,
reached I reached some of that point recently. Again, back to that me allowing things. Um, I allowed her to go through this process for so long, and recently I explained to her that, hey, I can't continue to allow you to go through this because he is doing certain things that is stopping her progress. She's
so
stopping my progress,
you
and
know
I'm
all about
and
him.
yeah, yeah, and he doesn't know about me like that. Like, he knows of me, but he doesn't know
Right.
I mean, like, he knows that we're still married, but he doesn't know everything, because I'm sure she can't be as honest to him as I'm asking for her to be honest to me, because her dishonesty is what brought us into the situation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just, I don't fault her for wanting to leave and things like that, because I know how she got there. What I fault her for are some of the things that she done, and not doing them. It's how she did it. You get what I'm saying? Because we
Right,
had some
right.
discussions and things like that. She went against what we were supposed to do, and she lived on our high horse for a little bit. And in the process, it's all about finding herself. Again, I'm not going to be mad about it. and anything like that, because on my end, I'm good.
You've done
You
what
get
you
what I'm
need to do.
saying? I've found myself. I've developed some stuff in my art. I'm getting back to the type of person that I was prior to all of these incidents that's happened. I'm starting my own business. I'm
Congratulations
getting
on
my
that, bro.
identity back again and all kinds of stuff like that. So, I mean, if she comes back to me, she's gonna have some work to do to earn some trust. It's
I
gonna
was
be
going
a
to ask
long
you,
ass road.
how do you rebuild that trust, right? Because
Uh,
you know how you lost it, right? And you so
yeah,
you, and what I mean by that is the stories, whatever the stories were. I'm going to the grocery store. I'm going to the gym. Whatever those stories were,
yeah,
those are typically real stories, but they just swap them out, right? So
yeah.
how do you get comfortable with her saying, "Hey, I'm going to the grocery store again," or "I'm going to the gym," or "I'm going here," when historically it hasn't always been that way.
See, that's the biggest part to it. And I'm gonna be 100 here, like we supposed to. And I've
I'm
said this to
honest.
my kids. I've said this to everybody, um, including her. I'm not even sure if she's going to end up being the person to me because in the process of everything happening, I cherished her. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I cherished everything about her. I loved her.
She
Even
said that,
throughout
bro.
her
No doubt.
flaws.
She used that
And
exact
then
phrase.
she gave my love away to a dude who didn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? And that took a part of me away. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So now you have to put forth a lot of effort to get all that stuff back. And if she's not willing to put forth that work to do that, it's not going to work at all. It's not just going to be, being honest and talking about what you're going to do and where you're going to go and things like that. You got to put forth a real effort to love a man who's gone through this shit and loved you to health. You know what I mean?
Right. Through the sickness and health, for
Through
better or for
everything,
worse.
through
But
everything.
you stuck by the vows, bro. No
Yeah. And
doubt.
a lot of people going to look at it and say, oh, he should have done this and I can go do these things. But I've stuck by Crystal's side again because of the vow that I make to my kids, the vow that I make to my marriage. And if you look at it this way, I have to do this again as a man, as a husband, as a father.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because if she goes out there and she does whatever it is that she does and she crashes and burns, she falls apart, she falls home, whatever it is, homeless, however you want to look at it,
Right. Whatever happened,
that doesn't only affect her.
no doubt.
We have three
Kids.
kids.
Right. The
You
kids.
get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I have to stay by her side as far as I can, but I also have to let her learn some shit on her own. You know what I
Man,
mean? To a
man, no
point
doubt.
where we still have my son staying here. You know what I mean? Him and his girlfriend and my other daughter stays with her most times, and it's just like, what do we do? I'm trying to make sure that they understand her situation, they forgive her,
Yeah,
they
because
move on.
her
Because
situation and
I am the only absolute person who has not given up on her. You get what I'm
right,
saying?
no
And
doubt. Because I can imagine everybody, right, coming from, you know, looking at what's happening from the outside and saying,
yeah,
you know, I can't fuck with her because
yeah,
these actions, and one of the things, again, as a husband, right? Because I look at your situation and I compare and I think to myself, how how can bro do it, right? Like, because
yeah,
that takes a lot,
but
to know your wife is intimate with another man and
yeah.
then take her back. Like, there's some I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you this part. Um, when it happened the first time, I was broken. I fell into a deep
Absolutely.
depression, all kinds of things. Um, and I lost a lot of faith in God and stuff like that throughout the journey. My mom gets on me all the time about that stuff. And I specifically remember one time hurting so bad and crying and things. And I remember asking God, like, why me? Why are you doing this to me? And I heard him say, because you can handle it. And
Okay.
I was so broken. And, I put on weight. I like changed some ways and different
That's
things
life
like that. I
altering
become
there,
a
man.
huh?
That's life altering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
No
I
doubt.
became a stronger person, but I lost some of those other qualities. So I knew that God was using me because he put me in the life of this person, that there was only one person in this world could do that job. And the reason why I'm on this podcast is because I got a message from my mom this morning, and that message said, do it for God. And it spoke about a lady who basically had to give some of her most precious belongings to a person who had done her so wrong and significantly wrong, life altering. And I thought about it, how it related to this situation, and me speaking up positively about somebody who hurt me bad is probably one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do.
I can see it, bro.
But I'm doing that because I know how she got to where she is. You get what I'm saying? Forgiving her, I forgave her. Whether I can take her back, I don't know. I don't know what will ever happen, but I know me speaking about this and just being able to say I'm willing to move on without her is enough for me because I'm going to be good. I'm going to be
Right.
good. The kids are going to be good. The only person she really needs to worry about is herself. If she doesn't fix herself, that's nothing else that I can do. I've done
You can only do
everything that
so
I could
much.
possibly do. I've done
Right.
it. I've done it all. I've stuck by her side throughout all of this, which is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. But I'm thankful to being in this situation because it's made me a stronger dude. Um, and it's going to make me a stronger dude. If it's not for her, it's going to make me a stronger dude for somebody else. You get what
Absolutely,
I'm saying?
absolutely. Yeah,
So
absolutely. I know
it
when
is
they
what
see
it
this
is.
one, bro, they gonna be at you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So, hey, just
I'm
keep it
good.
real. I know you
Yeah.
waiting, but when they see this one,
Uh,
they're gonna be at you because one of the things I said to her, and this was exact phrase. I'm like, you were telling me this is the perfect fucking man, right? Like everything
yeah.
that every woman says they want in a man, this is what this dude is. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, you fucked
Yeah.
that up, right? Like,
Yes.
like,
Bad.
like what and she said again, I kept it all the way real, and I'm gonna keep it all the way real. She said something
Yeah.
along the lines of, "Well, I needed to know what I had by losing it." I said, "Stop." I call bullshit on it.
Hmm.
I said, "There ain't no way in the world you ain't got some friends that then told you, girl, you fucking up a good home. You got a good man. Don't do that shit." Yeah, they told me. I said, "So you knew? Don't pretend you
Hmm.
didn't know, right? You just wanted to experience something different." Which again,
Hmm.
I don't place fault or blame nowhere. Everybody's different, right? But
Yeah.
she know, like she knows you were the dude, right? Like, and that's the part
Yeah.
doesn't doesn't resonate that with me that I can't quite grasp, right? Because she
Hmm.
is literally taking what she is saying, and damn near every other woman, right, that they want in a man, and throwing it out for the exact kind of man they don't really fucking want. Or at least that's what they say. So
Hmm.
I was confused, but she admitted, she said, yeah, she fucked up. She knows it, right? Like
Yeah.
she
I'm
knows she
glad
messed
you
up.
would acknowledge that. I'm glad you said that she said she fucked up. Because that's one of the biggest parts of facing this shit and moving
Absolutely.
forward. Because it's not me who she needs to tell that. I already know that. I knew that from the start.
She didn't tell herself.
She
The
needs to tell
kid,
herself and the kids. And I told her that. I said, part of your fuck up is you haven't forgiven yourself. You fucked up and you rather sit here and fucking continue to crash and burn than to face your own situation and let your fucking ego go and face
right?
what has happened and say, I fucked up. I got to do better because she knows she has my sisters, my mom. You got to face this shit. When you face that shit,
It's real then.
it's real then. Yeah. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But she would, it runs in the family sometimes that she would rather let it fucking burn than to do it. But the cold part is, um, that's on her. It's gonna be up to her to recognize that and make actions towards it. Because I told her I've always been here. One of the
Right.
biggest differences between me and dude is that I'm available, and I keep reminding her of that shit. And I keep telling her, "Hey, I'm here for you.
So that
I'm
was
here
something
all the
else.
time. I've always been there. I've been
Mhm.
fucking loyal to you." I remember getting just a fucking text message from somebody else, and she got upset. This was fucking 12 years ago,
Right.
and she looked me in the eye, and she made me say, "Hey, if you ever do something like that again, then we're done," and all this other shit. I made that commitment and I held tight to my shit. She wasn't able to do it. I mean, she's gotten better and over time and fixing some things and finding more ways to cheat and lie and all that. But I knew she thought I was stupid. I knew the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But I also knew that she wasn't being sexual with people. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't fucking nobody on the side after she had that first thing a long time ago. And I don't think she ever wouldn't have done that had drugs not been involved.
But
I had to
like
help her
but
out through that.
as a husband, one of my things, I don't ever want to be in that situation, right? But we don't get to pick the situations we
Hell
in.
no.
'Cause I know you didn't pick that either. You didn't wake up like, man, I can't
Hell
wait,
nah.
right? But
Yeah.
but like I've heard people say, man, I got over the cheating because it was physical. She was out, she met a dude,
Yeah.
and they had sex and we fought and blah blah blah. But the emotional So not stepping out, not the emotional is worse, right? Because
That's
he's
what this one
taking
here is about. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
And
That's
the emotions were there. So, but that's what makes it even better. Because if I had an order of how could this shit happen and the outcomes of it all, I've already said if she has emotions for this dude, I want her to have him. She doesn't have to have me. If that's the person she wants, I want him to
right,
tighten his fucking ass up, take care of his shit that he has to do with his girl, and take care of her the way that he's supposed to. Like the song said, you got to make it hard for the next. It's hard as fuck to take over my spot. And if
right.
he can't fucking do that shit and step up and do it the right damn way, he need to get the fuck out the way. That's how I feel. I want her to have him. So I'm going to continue to make it hard for his ass because he needs to step up. He needs to stop bullshitting
But
around
but he's
and
got a whole woman,
stop
bro.
playing with
He
her.
ain't,
Exactly. That's what I'm
when
saying. And
so she,
he's playing. She
when she
doesn't
said that,
recognize that.
when she said that, I lost it. I'm like, hold on a
Yeah.
second. You left,
She's the most faithful side chick I've ever met in my life.
and she said that as well, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, how is this? How is this, right? Like, how can you? Like that's, bro. I was
It's,
just as lost in these words, right? Because
yeah.
I said to her, you left a stable, functional home and marriage to be a side piece,
Yes.
right? I said, I've never fucking heard that. Like, I've
I
heard women
never
cheat
either.
on their husbands and leave and go be with the boyfriend, and I've seen all kind of crazy scenarios, but I've never seen a
Yeah.
woman leave her home to go be some other man's woman
E-
on the side like that.
Exactly.
That
And
is
that was my biggest thing because like I say, if I would want her to have him, and I because her emotions are involved, um,
he ain't for
or
he's
were
not
involved with
available.
her.
He's not
Exactly.
available.
That's not on me. That's not on me.
Right.
So I'm
True.
going to
True.
continue to make it hard. I got to put pressure on him to make sure that if he wants her back, he needs to start making some fucking moves. Because if not, I'm gonna start being that motherfucker I used to be in college. And I'm gonna put some pressure on his ass to a point where I could become a dog. I could do whatever it is, but I don't have to do that because she's my wife. I'm not doing it to her. I'm doing it for him to step up to the fucking plate. You get what I'm
Okay.
saying? If
So
he's
you
not gonna
trying to
make
hold
those
him
moves,
accountable.
I'm gonna hold him accountable because I want her with him because he has her emotions.
That's where
You
her
get what I'm
mind is.
saying?
So may as well put the body with the mind.
Yes.
The
I,
heart
I
where the
want
heart's
all
at.
that to be
Yeah.
together because if I can't have that,
You
I
know.
want I want to be able to say, nope, I'm done. You can go on about your business. I don't have the complete strength to do that. So if I don't have the strength to do that, my next move is to say, hey, I'm going to put pressure on you. I'm going to be available. If you choose him over me and you keep getting hurt, you're going to let me know that that's what you're going to continue to
Right.
choose. I can make whatever moves I'm going to make based off the moves you make it.
No
You get what
doubt.
I'm saying?
No
And then
doubt.
sooner or later, I'll have the strength to say, fuck this, I'm gone. You get what I'm
So
saying? Because I'm not
right.
going to
Right.
get that first thing, which is him being with her. I'm not ever going to get that.
So that was something she touched on too. That was crazy because she was like, "Dude, don't do shit. He don't help with.
Nothing.
If I'm carrying groceries, he won't do shit. He won't." And I'm
Bro,
just like, "What? What the fuck? What the
listen,
fuck?"
man. Listen,
Mm.
listen. I told her one day, because she had my daughter over there one day, and we weren't good. She was being straight up mean and all kinds of shit.
Okay. Okay.
And I told her, hey, I got some food, I got some chicken or whatever, bring it over there. And I got over there and she was like, I didn't expect for you to do something like that. But I was like, why? And she was like, because I haven't been nice, like exactly nice to you. I was like, number one, you being not nice to me ain't got shit to do with me. I'm gonna be who I am regardless.
Right.
You know what
You
I'm
gonna be the
saying?
same man.
Just
Right.
I'm
Right.
gonna be
Right.
the same motherfucker.
No
I'm gonna be
doubt.
the
No doubt.
same ass dude. But on top of that, there's no fucking reason in this world you got two goddamn dudes and you can't fucking eat.
Right.
If
Right.
I'm not gonna be the first one to
Damn,
bring
that
it, he
sounds
should be
crazy,
doing that
but
shit.
that
He
sounds
should be
crazy, but
fucking
you're
doing
right.
that shit.
You're right.
And there's no fucking reason. And I told her I get pissed over shit like that because he's not taking care of her. And she wasn't seeing that stuff. And that was pisses me off.
She see
If
it
you're not
now.
gonna fucking take care of her and she's gonna let that shit happen, that's
She
where
see it
I
now.
come in and I say, fuck that. Huh?
She see it now. No doubt about it. She
Yeah,
see
yeah.
it
I'm sure she
100%.
sees it now, but now she also has to really deal with this situation. You know what I'm saying?
So
And I tried to coach her through some of that stuff, but I had to back myself off because
you
me
invested
telling
in
her
that.
certain
Right.
things.
You
Yeah,
invested.
I'm
Right.
trying to help create a person for myself. But
Right. Right.
if I don't have that person to myself and I put this person out in the world and somebody else gets this girl and they get some shitty ass human being, they're going to be like, that's who he is with? I can't do that. So, regardless, I'm trying to make sure that I have some quality type of person,
Your
despite her
reputation is on the
flaws.
line. I feel you.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? I can't have somebody just be like, oh, that's who he was with and whatever else. Oh, I see why, or what, you get what I'm saying.
Right.
And that's just bullshit because that's not the truth.
I
She
asked
fucked
her.
up bad, and that has
She
fucked her
know it.
up.
She know it, bro. She
Yeah,
know it. And I asked her. I said, I said, how long can you specifically be a side piece to this dude? Right? And she said it's been going on 6 months, and she's fucking tired of it. And
yeah.
I'm just like, again, when I hear it, I'm thinking to myself, you had it all, right? You were
Had
a
it all,
wife.
dude,
And
man.
and
There's
and
nothing
listen,
she
bro,
had to
I'm
do.
gonna say something, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but I've always
I'm
said to
good.
myself, I can never date a single mother. But I'm also not gonna
Hmm.
create one, right? So
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. But you took her kids on, right? That the
bro.
kids were not yours.
I
That
literally said I would never date a single woman. I would never date a kid, a woman with kids. And I literally went from a single dude to a dude with a girl and two kids like this in
so the only
months.
children you have are by Crystal.
I have one biological child from Crystal. The other two are my stepkids that
Right.
are mine.
Right.
And if you ask them motherfuckers, they mine. They're more
Right. But
loyal
it's
to
three
me than they
only.
are to
There's
her.
only three people calling you
It's
dad.
only three of them. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
None.
All
Yeah.
right.
And it's it's
So
crazy, bro.
bro, you came in like you came in heavy, right? You came in and scooped her and the kids and gave her place to stay,
Everything.
food to eat, and ooh, that's
Dude, like I told you, you it's so many layers to this shit. Just sitting down here for an hour and all, you will never understand it all.
right.
It's
No, I know
so
what you
much
mean.
to it. Yeah, it is so much to
So
it.
so we've talked about all the bad shit. Well, not
Yeah.
all of it, but we talked about some of the bad shit.
Yeah, we got a lot more to go.
What is it that drives you to say all this shit that's going on, right? That's all this shit that's over here.
Hmm.
Don't I'm still trying to I'm still trying to finish this vow out. Right? What are those qualities there? Is it are you doing it for you or is there some qualities there that you like, man, even though she's fucking all the way up, I need this from her.
See,
Right?
see, the thing is, one, I know there's a good person in there. I absolutely know that. Again, I know the different things that got her to the situation where she is. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Um, she never had a chance to grow up. I recognize that. I had to give her an opportunity to grow up. And instead of coaching her throughout all of this, there were times where I had to back off. Like today, there were so many times she was talking to me in text, and the only thing I could say was good luck. I've learned to stop giving her my 2 cents and that
Right.
guidance and things, and she has to learn to do it on her own. And
It's
I
more
never
respect.
was able to do that. So it's, I mean, I don't know, man. It is absolutely a crazy situation. And I know she is a good person down there. She has a lot to figure out. There's no manual on going through the
No
shit that
doubt.
we're going through.
No
Absolutely not.
doubt. No doubt.
And again, to know her journey makes a difference for me because I'm the only person who knows that. You know what I
So
mean? And
let me ask you, did is it man, I don't even know how to word it. So did you ever think, man, let me just send her off on a trip somewhere, let her get all that wild shit out of her, not get attached to a man.
fuck no.
So
Nah, because it
then what is
wasn't
it
even
about like then why let her that's what I'm confused on. Like
because it wasn't supposed to go. It wasn't supposed to go to the dude. That's where when I say it wasn't what she did, is how she did it.
okay.
When we separated, she was gonna go stay over there, and I was gonna have the house and different things like that. And we were supposed to communicate on some things uh before they happened.
She talked
And
about that too. So I
and
feel you.
she
Yeah.
played a foul ass game. And that's where all this shit started to go wrong.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And
All
it
right.
went really, really foul. Again, she was nasty with some of the words that she said, the things that she was saying to me, and the way that she was acting. And the shit, like I was in the beginning, I was really bad off. I went
I
through.
already know.
I was already battling depression on top of knowing what she was going to go do and the things that she was doing. Then I started withdrawing from my depression meds. But the cold part of that is, luckily, I had one of my friends from college posted on Facebook how she was going through some stuff, and I actually reached out to her, just nothing attached and anything like that, and just like, hey man, you good type of thing. You need somebody, I'm here to talk to you. You know what I mean? And had I not done that while she was out there having her fun and doing everything else and all that shit, I'd have been alone as hell, because this young lady, as she was going through her shit, was helping me through mine.
Right, right.
And to this day, this person is my best friend. She has an irreplaceable spot in my life. Nobody can. There was nobody there but this young lady when I'm crying myself to sleep. And it wasn't about sex. It wasn't about doing anything
No,
like that. This lady was my legit friend. You know what I'm saying? She helped me develop some of my art stuff, encouraging shit. Like she was a friend. Like she was there when nobody else was. And the hardest part about all this shit is I'm not making no fucking steps forward unless she can accept this lady in my life, because I explained that to her before. This lady was there when you should have been, and
right,
the
right,
hardest
right.
time of my life, and you were out there having fun and rubbing shit in my face. You know what I mean?
Oh, she
This
was throwing
this
it in your
lady,
face too.
yeah, like
And
the part,
did
one of
she
the
not
things
come
that hurt
home
me the
that night,
most,
or what was
one
that?
of the things that hurt me the most was around spring break. I wasn't in school or anything, and she was house sitting and things like that. Um, and something along the lines of, hey, whatever was going on. And I told her I was doing something, and I said she was doing something, and she was like, nah, I was fucking. And I was like, all right then.
Wait,
So
wait,
like it was
wait.
some cold shit.
She can't. She put that in a text message after, like,
I don't
was it
remember
a
whether it was,
phone?
I think it was either a text message or on the phone, was whatever it was. Like I say, she was doing some foul, she
I
was
had to
on her
adjust.
high horse. Things were going
Yeah.
good for her. And so that ego was there.
Okay.
And like now, that I mean, I was going through some real bad shit in the beginning,
No
and
doubt.
it seems like she's starting to go through that. Again, this is not to bash her at all.
Right.
It
Right.
was just because she was enjoying some shit, and she said some things like even about how my best friend, um, it was nothing there with us and stuff like that. And she saw a picture. She thought that the girl in the picture was her. She called her fat as fuck and all kinds of stuff. Come to find out, it was the wrong goddamn person. You know what I'm saying? And then when
Right.
she
Right.
actually
Right.
saw her, she was like, "Oh my God, she's actually cute," and all this other stuff. I'm sorry and stuff. Like she was going in hard on me.
I mean, that's
Oh,
a
at least I
jealous
didn't
female insecurity.
downgrade and all
Right.
that
Right.
stuff. Man, gosh. But
Bro.
then
I'm gonna
you
tell
did
you.
downgrade. You downgraded like a motherfucker.
Right. Right. This chick that you talking about sound like, you know what I'm saying? Like she's the what you missing. I don't know the whole story. And listen, I ain't trying to put that in your head. I ain't
No,
trying to tell you what to do. But the way you talk about her is how you should talk about your wife. And I'm not saying you as a.
and
I'm
I
saying as a
would I
man, as a
would talk
husband.
about my wife that way, if it was not
Right? You gotta
about
be
this
real.
situation.
Right? You
You get
gotta
what I'm
be
saying?
real. Right? Right?
Yeah, about if it wasn't about this situation, again, I cherish the hell out of this girl. Even to this day, I still let her know she's gorgeous. There is a person that she fucked up along the way. She did some things, but at the same time, I know how she got there. I've forgiven her. Whether I'm going to be with her or not is a
Right? Them two different.
completely
Yeah,
fucking different
yeah,
story.
them two different things. Right?
Because
Right?
if I don't forgive her, that shit happens on me. That's me losing sleep.
That's
That's
pain
me
on you
not
all
being able
day.
to work on my craft. That's so much stuff. So I have to forgive her in order to be able to make myself better.
No
You get what
doubt.
I'm saying? I still love her. I still, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. At this
So
point, I'm good.
if you could say anything to her, right? Like just like what would you say to her if you got an opportunity to talk to her and get whatever's on your chest off your chest? And I don't mean bad shit, like how you feel about her, whatever you want, like kind of that. If you could say one last thing before y'all made y'all decision, what would you say to her?
Be honest with you, I don't think I need to say shit to her. She needs to be the doing all the talking. She needs to be.
Okay,
She needs to speak on her feelings. She needs to speak on her fuck up. She needs to speak on. She has to grab the bull by the horns and stop running like she's always have, and face every fucking problem that she's either created, that was there before shit has happened. She has to deal with shit in order to move on. It ain't me who has to say anything. Only thing
So
I would tell her is to talk.
so so it's on her, and
It's
that's
absolutely on
understandable.
her.
That's understandable, right? Because she created the situation. So what can she say to you, bro? Like that, and then how do you believe it, right? If she comes back tomorrow and say, "Listen, I fucked up. I'm done with dude. Right? I'm done with dude. Uh, now I really want to fix home." Is that there? And you know what? You gonna eventually watch her episode. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna say because I asked her I mean I've been married for a long time, bro. I've been the same
Hmm.
woman 32 years. Um, I I have an attachment to my wife, right? Mental,
Hmm.
physical, emotional. And so when we're having this discussion, I'm asking her, I'm like, hey, if dude is not doing those, those affectionate things, right? If y'all just physical, but he's not doing no, he ain't opening doors, he's not holding you, he's not getting none of how do you live with that after missing it? And she said it, and I know you're gonna see it when you watch it. She said, I have to have two different men to make up for what I
Hmm.
don't have. So I've got
Hmm.
the physical dude and the emotional, mental, the affectionate dude. And I'm like, that's fucking stupid.
It
Put,
is. I
put
mean, I
yourself in
get
that
it.
situation.
I get it to a certain extent because if you look at, like you said, the other girl would be a perfect person to me. Crystal and her would complement each other. You get what I'm saying? They would complement each other, and it's weird that you would say that shit like that, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm not willing. I mean, based on those situations, she would have to come to me and tell me, if she was to say these things, you have to know Crystal to understand. For Crystal to come to you and acknowledge that she fucked up and to say anything is the biggest fucking step in the world.
Right. So if she
You
come
get what
with
I'm
it, she
saying?
tell it, she telling the truth if she come with it.
Yeah, if she comes to you and acknowledge that she done messed up, I take that. That's the biggest step in the world. But
Okay.
I understand where she's coming from with the two dudes. But her fuck up is she never gave me a chance to be that complete dude. That's where she fucked up at because she went searching for all that shit and she took every fucking thing that I did for granted. Like any and every goddamn thing that this dude can do, I guarantee you I can fucking do that shit better. She never gave me an opportunity to do it.
So
And I told her that. I told her for so long, you went off the dude that you created through your fuck ups, not the dude that I am. You get what I'm saying? And if she comes back now, she'll have mostly of that dude that I am, but you also bring a piece of that dude that you created because I have those inhibitions of how of whether you're not you're telling the
I mean
truth,
that's
where you're
common
gonna go
sense
back to
shit.
doing that
Right.
shit.
Right.
Exactly.
That's common
But
sense
yeah,
shit.
she her biggest fuck up was not giving me an opportunity to be me. And she took me for granted. And I've always told her that.
So
And
have you been taken for granted all 15 years? Like, is it always been that way?
a lot of it, I think a lot of it, I mean, so off and on certain times. There are certain things that my intelligence, just my kindness, different, all kinds of different things here and there were taken for granted. Um, Overall, I would say yes, taken for granted. But that's on her. All
So
that shit is old. All that shit is old, and it helped create the person that I am now.
right.
So I don't really dwell on that shit. If she
Okay.
comes back to me, she got a lot of work to do. If she's not willing to do that work, she can hit the road. If she's willing to do the work, that's on her because she has to face a lot of shit, and that's all gonna be on her. I've done my shit.
Right. Yeah, you
You
did
know what I
everything you
mean?
could do,
It's nothing
bro.
more that I got to do.
Yeah, you've done everything you could do.
Yeah,
So you got this best friend who was there for you. She went through some shit, you went through some shit, y'all went through it together. She held you up, you held her up, right? And you say if Crystal comes back, they've gotta she's gotta accept her as your best friend. I'm with that. I ain't got no beef.
absolutely.
But can your best friend accept you being back with Crystal, even though like she loves you, that's your best friend, but she was there watching you go through that? Because if I'm watching somebody put my friend, somebody I love, through some shit, bro, I can support that person being with this
Hmm.
person, but I can't. Man, don't get
But
don't go out drinking
this
with
is
me.
this is the greatest part. That I'm glad you asked that question. Is because the biggest part, the biggest thing that separates Crystal's situation from my situation is that if I was to ever have anything with my best friend, uh, I've had to tell her the truth about my situation this entire time. And I've been doing that. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Crystal can't tell the truth to both sides like that. You
right,
get what I'm saying?
right. Yeah,
So she has to manipulate and do all kinds of things I can tell my friend everything that I can tell her because I have to. So when
Right.
if that foundation is ever built, you know what I'm saying? We're built off of friendship. You get what I'm saying?
And
Not that I've
honestly,
been trying to like Crystal was sneaking around for 3.5, 4 years, off and on and shit like that. So their foundation is built differently
right,
than my foundation with my friend is a legit friendship.
right. It started
You
how it's
get what I'm
supposed to.
saying?
Right,
Exactly. So there's nothing that I have to restore, rebuild, or anything like that because she already knows the situation. She knows I'm doing this podcast. She knows that I was trying to make sure that I put pressure on Crystal to make sure that, hey, either I'm going to do this shit and we're going to get back together or whatever else. She knows all that stuff. I told her every fucking thing
right,
because we have a friendship. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yes,
She's your
those things
outlet
might hurt her
to
feelings.
express yourself.
Yeah, those things might hurt her feelings regardless of anything. But it's my job to tell her that. If
Right,
I don't tell her that, I fuck up on both ends.
right, right,
You get what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
I have to move on certain ways that don't fuck up either futures. You
right.
know what I'm saying? If I start doing things over here,
No, I'm
that
with
gives
you. If you
Crystal ammunition to
right,
do whatever hell else that she needs to do and justify it. You know what I'm saying? And in her eyes, whether it's in my
right.
eyes or not. So
No, I'm with
I
you. I'm
have to
with you.
move clean.
No
You know
doubt,
what I'm
no doubt,
saying? I'm not gonna let this situation be on me.
no doubt.
When it's
And
over with, it ain't nothing anybody could do.
right,
Cause
right,
every
right.
single nickname, go getter, whatever else they used to call me back in the days and all that shit's gonna come out. I mean,
There's
right
no
now,
doubt.
I'm going to be me. I'm going to be solid. I'm going to be faithful. I'm going to be loyal. I'm going to move throughout this situation because that's what I vowed to do. I'm a man
Bro,
of my word.
I absolutely appreciate that. I respect that, man. I appreciate you coming on and telling your story. I know we talked earlier. He was like, man, we probably gonna have to do this a few times. So I definitely want to do it again, man. I know, I took you away from the kids, and I'm as a father, I want to get you back to the kids, man. I know you pulled some time away for this, and I greatly appreciate it, bro. You know what I'm saying? We wishing the best for you, right? I know you're in a tough
I
situation,
appreciate it.
but let's circle back, man, in a week or so, man, and just kind of give
Yeah.
us an update on how things are going, man.
All right. I can tell you this, regardless of whether me and Crystal get back together, we're going to be okay. She's always going to be a part of my life. She's going to be the mother of my child. We're going to
Right.
be friends or whatever else. If we get back together, then there's not going to be anything that can stop us because going through some bullshit like this
Man.
and reestablishing something, reestablishing that bond. Again, I know how she got there. I've gone through my hurt. If I can accept that shit, we can move on. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I have my
Yeah.
second chance
You've
and
done
I'm
everything.
gone. You know what I mean? I
Right,
got my
right.
closure, whatever it is, and I can say all of that and be good with what I say. You know what I mean?
No
It is
doubt.
what it is.
Nah, man,
I'm
I
good.
appreciate it, bro, man. And I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm rooting for you, fam. Stay up, man, and
I
stay safe.
appreciate
And
it, bro.
we like I said, we got each other's contact info, man. Let's stay in touch, bro. Like I said, we do this again here in a week or
Absolutely.
so.
Hey,
All right.
I'm telling you, I told you before, I could talk a lot. You
We're gonna
lucky
do
I
it,
wasn't
bro.
on that drink. I will talk
Hey, hey, listen,
forever.
we're gonna do this again. Matter of fact, we're gonna do it again this
Hey,
weekend, bro. We at least have
hey,
our drink.
that's a bet, man.
I was
I
sipping on
love to
wine, but
talk.
hey, so let's do
Hey,
this, man. You look at your schedule. Let me know. I'm free all weekend. Well, Saturday night I'm busy, but let's do it. But let's get together this week. It can be tomorrow night. It can be Thursdays is my Fridays to me. Shit, Friday coming. That's just as good, right? You let me know,
all
bro. We,
right.
we open up the drink, sip, and just shoot the shit, bro. For real.
Yeah, I might get a drink for real next time and just like, what I'm
Yeah,
saying, let
no
that
doubt.
wild side go. I'm on break too. I might as well just have some fucking
Man,
fun.
relax, have some fun, bro.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right, man.
absolutely, bro.
You have a good night, boss.
All right.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.